Today, we're talking about the number one thing that helped me recover from burnout, because it might help you too. Hey, courageous ones, can we get real for a moment? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling exhausted by daily life? Have you been feeling stressed? Do you feel like you're never going to catch up with all the things that you have to do and like you can't keep up with the pace of life? Maybe you're burned out. According to recent Gallup data from Q4 2025, 31% of women said that they're very often or always feeling burned out at work. Women also report higher workplace engagement over men, and so women have higher engagement at work and they report higher instances of burnout. After 4 months of leaving my job due to being burned out, I'm grateful to say I'm feeling deeply refreshed and rested. I'm finally feeling ready to create my next chapter in life, and I feel excited about what's next for me. And the reason I'm at this point is because I have been actively engaged in burnout recovery and healing work. Before I share the number one thing that helped me recover from burnout, I just want to say that I understand that we're not all in a position to be able to leave our jobs. Trust me, I did not want to leave my job, nor did I think that I could at first. The level of my burnout significantly impacted my decision to choose my health over my job. The content I'm sharing on this channel is about our spiritual and mental well-being. And the subject of burnout is one avenue that leads us to explore ideas and practices that are restorative and healing to our well-being. So we all don't need to quit our jobs to recover from burnout. It is possible to adopt healthier habits and make adjustments to the way we're doing life as preventative measures. What I'm sharing can be done now while still carrying a full-time job. That said, the number one burnout recovery healing practice that has made the biggest impact to my well-being is slowing down. And here's what I mean. I mean slowing down physically and mentally. I'm intentionally moving slower, and when I notice my mind filling up with a rush of thoughts nonstop, this is a sure sign that says it's the best time to put a pin in it. I'll write down my most pressing thoughts, I'll let them be half-baked, and intentionally move on to lighter passing thoughts, like clouds in the sky, and I'm not getting hooked into any particular thought. And I'm also not cramming everything that I want to do in one day. In other words, slowing down has made me realize that there's always going to be more things that I want to do in a day than I can actually do in one day. And this is a truth that I have to accept every day, especially if I want to have vital energy for the things that truly matter to me. Slowing down means I'm choosing to reserve my energy for my core values instead of putting everyone else's values before mine. In slowing down, I have become aware that the flexibility I have in my daily routine these days has been a source of great healing for me. If I want to exercise in the morning before the day gets going, I can. If I want to do some work at the new local coffee shop, no problem. And I love being able to meet up with my friends and my family for a midweek lunch date. As I manifest my new life, I'm factoring in how important having flexibility is to my spiritual and mental well-being. In my last job, I had a good amount of flexibility, but when I was at peak burnout, I needed more flexibility than was possible when I asked for it. And this was one of the factors for my decision to resign and take a career break. Now that I know the impact of flexibility on my well-being, job flexibility will be added to the list of non-negotiables in my next job manifestation. Most burnout is caused by our jobs. Even a commute can become a source of constriction, squeezing our personal sense of freedom and draining us of our vital energy before a day gets started. But burnout can also be caused by other areas of our lives. So if we've been experiencing sustained prolonged stress, like from being a caregiver or from major life changes, this can cause burnout. People-pleasing behaviors and being a perfectionist about like everything in your life also can lead to burnout. If you're highly sensitive, empathic, or an anxious high achiever, you are more susceptible to burnout. For me, I didn't recognize burnout for what it was. And it wasn't until I reached a point where I could no longer ignore how I was feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually. And actually, in one of my videos, I talk about how it was my intuition that helped me navigate the toxic work environment that I was in, which caused the burnout. If you want to know how your intuition is trying to help you right now, take a listen to that video. I'll provide the link to that in the description below so you can check that out. When I look back to my experience, the burnout was gradually building over the course of at least 3 years. And this makes sense to me since I've learned that burnout is a slow process because we're continually adapting to a buildup of ongoing stress. I don't know how I handled all the things that I was juggling, but I did. And the truth is, as conscientious, sensitive, high achievers that we make things look like we have everything under control. But deep inside, something doesn't feel right, and things feel out of control and like we'll never be able to catch up to life. From the outside and to others, we look like we're succeeding. But on the inside, we feel so tired and we wonder how long we can keep up with this pace of life. And maybe we even feel guilty. I know I did feel guilty or ashamed for even thinking that because we're holding on to a belief that if we can't keep up somehow, we're failing at life. We can't break down because if we're intelligent and capable, we should have no trouble achieving, getting things done, and keeping up with all the demands. If we're as competent as we think we are, we should have the necessary life force energy to perform expectations and readily meet the demands of each day. But here's what I've learned from being full-blown burned out. That kind of thinking and holding on to those beliefs is not helpful or healthy. It's harmful because you're not paying attention to yourself and you're not giving yourself what you actually need. We're actually abandoning ourselves, and yet we would never think of letting anyone else down. When I was at my full-time job, I didn't even know that there were these 3 distinct signs of burnout, and yet I had them all. The first of these 3 defining characteristics is exhaustion. It's an exhaustion that just doesn't go away with rest. Not even a vacation. The second is growing cynicism. We withdraw, feeling disconnected, questioning whether our work even matters. The third is reduced performance. Simple decisions become harder, motivation fades, and you begin doubting your own abilities. Do you have any of these signs of burnout so far? Have you been feeling like you want to get off a bullet train, but think there's just no way? Are you starting to think that your colleagues or your manager might be plotting against you? Is the company that you work for making you feel undervalued? Are you second guessing yourself when normally you feel capable and confident? If you've listened this far and you think you're burned out, you probably are. But now is the time to stop doing all the things for everyone else and start paying attention to your own needs. I know from experience that burnout recovery can feel like one more overwhelming thing to do. So if you think you could use a place to start your burnout recovery without feeling overwhelmed, check out my video, Burnout Recovery Basics, which I'll link in the description below. If you keep your approach simple and you stay consistent with the 3 recovery essentials that I talk about in that vid, you can turn that into your own personal protocol for restored health and well-being. Because I followed the basic protocol I outlined in that video, today I feel strong. I'm now at a place where I feel energized and motivated to create a new version of me. Courageous ones, thank you so much for being here. And before I go, I'd like to ask you for support to help my channel grow. Please write a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and like this video and subscribe for more supportive vibes content about our spiritual and mental well-being. Until next time, wishing you an awesome week ahead. This is your Urban Angel signing off.